Today, we're welcoming very special guest from Telstra International. We have David Williams. David is the head of global enterprise solutioning with the company. David, how you doing today?
Pretty good, thank you, Brady. How are you?
Doing really well, thanks. Yeah, so I guess let's jump right in if we can. Let's talk about Telstra's international business. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Many of your viewers will probably know Telstra as being one of the largest telecommunications and technology providers in Australia, but we've actually got a thriving and long-standing international business of which I'm part. It's about 3,000 employees across 30 different countries. We serve large multinational corporate clients as well as tech services providers and government clients all over the world. We operate one of the biggest subsea cable network systems in Asia, so it kind of gives our customers access to pretty much the largest amount of lit capacity across Asia. We carry about 30% of all of the internet traffic in Asia. Also offer a unique access to different markets. So we've got a joint venture in China through Telstra PBS, which is one of our kind of crowd jewels and gives us a real kind of differentiation when we talk to our customers about accessing that market.
All kind of really impressive stuff. Could you tell us a little bit about the U.S. partner program? I know a lot of people in our audience are interested.
Yeah, thank you. So our US partner program is really about helping our US-based channel partners to use our network assets and network infrastructure to help them to grow their business, to attract more clients, grow their share of wallet. And we've had a lot of success in the US market, and that's really been built upon the fantastic team that we've got that's sort of dedicated to serving the channel market. So we've got dedicated channel managers supported by solution sales experts, all based in North America, to help our channel partners to get the right products and the right technology to support their customers.
Well, it sounds really kind of comprehensive there. What do you what does Telstra look for in a partner?
So firstly, we look for partners who've got great relationships with their customers, partners who are quite technical themselves and can understand our value proposition and articulate that to their customers in the right way. But also, partners that can work in a true partnership with us in a very transparent and open way. I think that's those types of partners are the ones where we've had really good joint success together.
Activity providers, it seems like they operate in a really kind of crowded market, I think. How does Telstra kind of set itself apart from the rest?
Yeah, you're dead right there, Brady. It's a tough market. It is difficult to differentiate. But I think the differentiation comes in the kind of the marginal gains and the expertise that's related and pertinent to the customer's specific use case. So I like to, probably slightly oversimplify it, but I sort of break it down into sort of three large buckets. So the first bucket of use case would be the global backbone, multi-cloud backbone. The second bucket would be that WAN edge underlay connectivity. And then the third would be the secure overlay. So if I kind of sort of talk to each of those one at a time. Firstly, if you think about the global backbone, that's really very high capacity point-to-point services, layer one, layer two, carrying critical application data between data centers or between different cloud regions. And this is an area where we've seen kind of huge demand in the last few years, really driven by the tech sector. And in certain key routes, we've actually got a situation where the demand is exceeding supply, kind of quite a novel experience for me after 20 years in telecoms industry. And in this kind of use case, we've got a real strong kind of right to play by virtue of the fact that we've got such a great set of network assets. So we wholly own and operate 3 cable systems in Asia. And then we've got assets on 30 more cable systems that gives us a lot of optionality. We're also investing in backhaul and terrestrial connectivity in key kind of hub locations like the Philippines and Taiwan, which allow us to interconnect different cable systems and provide that kind of optionality. So that's kind of the first use case. I think the second use case is probably a little bit more heavily commoditized. That's the kind of the WAN underlay, so sort of connecting offices and factories and branch sites of multinationals to the applications that they need. So obviously over the last few years, we've kind of seen that the kind of monolithic MPLS networks that we've kind of been used to for the last 20 years, no longer really fit for purpose for the types of applications that these customers are running. A lot of it's going to SaaS, a lot of it's going to the internet. So gradually those MPLS networks are breaking down and being replaced by enterprise grade internet. And whilst that is quite heavily commoditized, we are also to some extent suffering from that downturn in the MPLS revenue. We do see it as a big opportunity for us because we've got a fantastic IP network across Asia. We're pretty much the best peered provider in terms of the in-region peering to the different cloud providers, the different telco networks. And that gives us a good differentiator, especially when we combine that with our access in China, where we've got nationwide license for IP connectivity as well as permissions for cross-border traffic. So that kind of gives us a strong voice, and it's been a real area of growth for us in the last couple of years. And then that last area around the secure overlay, I think being able to have professional services and then the partnerships with the likes of Cisco, Netscope, Palo Alto, VMware kind of allows us to talk to each layer of the telecommunications stack, which is we find as a differentiator in its own right.
There seems to be a lot of buzz around Gen AI and how companies kind of leverage it to their advantage. A lot of it does involve technology. So, how does Telstra support those companies through its capabilities and offerings?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it is a super hot topic. We actually commissioned a survey earlier this year in partnership with MIT Tech Research, and that was specifically around the adoption of generative AI amongst enterprise organizations. So through MIT TR, we surveyed 300 different executives, IT executives across different segments of the industry. And what it found was that 78% of them saw generative AI as a real opportunity for them. 62% thought that it would substantially disrupt their business, and that was actually 87% for the media and communications organizations. However, only about 9% were at a position where they could actually say they'd adopted it at scale across their business. It's about 76% were really in the early stages of just starting to kind of experiment with it and kind of quite limited tactical sort of use cases. And yeah, recently I was privileged to host a roundtable in London with a few IT execs, and they all pretty much echoed the same thing. That was very similar feedback from them compared to the survey. So I think we're at a tipping point, though, where in the next couple of years, that sort of 9% adoption rate will significantly grow. And where we see it's presenting an opportunity or how we can help, I mean, firstly is in that first use case I mentioned earlier around the backbone connectivity. The tech providers, both the big hyperscalers as well as the kind of tier 2 and 3 tech providers, as well as the really big MNCs who are training their own kind of small language models and specific use cases, they're going to need bandwidth. They're going to need significantly bigger backbone networks than they've currently got. And we're sort of seeing that demand already. In terms of the edge network, I actually think it'll grow. The need will grow, but I think it'll probably be a bit more limited because the software application will kind of manage to some extent that sort of the bandwidth demands there. But the associated governance structure around that from a security point of view, I think will get more and more interesting in terms of how we can use AI to protect our customers, our own networks, as well as our customers' networks and services from ever more sophisticated sort of security threats that AI itself will generate. So yeah, just to summarize, I would say it's kind of preparing your infrastructure through, bandwidth and upgrades. It's working with them to right size the hosting and right locate the hosting of those workloads, and then helping them to secure their environments as AI starts to get adopted at scale.
It's interesting, David. Now you mentioned security, obviously a huge concern for a lot of companies. How does Telstra kind of address it with its network customers, security?
Yeah, I mean it's a huge area, right? It's a very big and broad topic. So I think if we were to break down what security means, I think first and foremost we've got to think about it from our own perspective. How do we secure our network first and foremost? Because we need to secure our assets, our systems, and our data because our customers have to trust our network. And once we kind of fail in that area, if there ever is an issue, then it's very hard to kind of win back that trust. So a lot of our efforts, thoughts, and expertise is going into making sure that we secure our network as best as possible and have all of the right measures in place so that our customers can have confidence. Um, Secondly, then we think about the services that we provide to our customers. And I kind of like to break down that sort of word of security around security that is network related. So, for example, not just traditional firewalls and DDoS mitigation and these types of things, but increasingly these days around SASE architectures, so that convergence between SD-WAN routing and secure service edge kind of cloud-based security enforcement platforms. So we're spending a lot of time building modular propositions and services around that SASE architecture. Um, and then the other areas around cybersecurity. So thinking about threat monitoring, managed detection and response, managed identity, and we're sort of seeing some traction around that combination between managed identity and secure service edge in a sort of zero trust identity type proposition. So yeah, kind of a hot area for us for growth, and it's a very interesting area for us as well to explore.
Oh, definitely, definitely interesting. So, David, as we kind of move through the end of this year and into 2025, what sort of things can we expect from Telstra kind of moving forward?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So, 2025, I'm personally excited about. I think it's going to be a great year of growth for us. I mentioned earlier around the demands on the network, and so we're hoping to get some new capacity, access to new cable systems early in 2025 that will help us address that demand for our customers. So, the kind of the growth of the network is something that is exciting to me. But also, what's very exciting to me is over the last few years, we've been uh, significantly investing in improving the digitization of our business, and that's a multi-year journey. Kind of never will never stop, but we're going to be starting to see some real benefits in terms of the digital customer experience that we're able to offer to our customers, as well as starting to see ways in which we can have a more automated network with less kind of human interaction, and that will allow us to grow even more efficiently and serve our customers in a slicker, more efficient way. So I'm kind of exciting for those developments that are going to be coming on stream in 2025.
All right. Now, if people want to follow along from home, where can they go?
So yeah, check out our website. We'll post that on the bottom of the link here. And also LinkedIn. And if you're a partner and looking to sell our services or learn more about our services, then please do get in touch, either through the website or through the email address, and one of our channel managers will get in touch with you to see how we can work together.
Great. Thank you so much for the time, David.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for this Channel Vision podcast with our good friends at Telstra. Be sure to check them out online. And while you're doing that, don't forget to also visit channelvisionmag.com. On there, you'll find great podcasts, CVTVs, and webinars and white papers, just lots of great content right there on channelvisionmag.com. Don't forget to also give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube so you know when the newest, hottest episodes drop right there for you. Thanks for the time. Have a great day.